All right, so the next game has been queued up here. We got both players inside the game lobby, as well as we do have all the observers. So this is going to start very soon, but looks like ValiditySAGA, with his scouting report, he sent his SCV into the base of Hasuu and has figured out that Hasuu is indeed left to the bathroom. So our, oh, no, he's back. Cool, he's back. That was a very APM heavy pee.
Pretty quick break, yeah. Possibly not even going to the washroom, just, you know, standing up, walking away, trying to, you know, get his head back into it.
I thought he has high APM. He has a good bladder as well. High pressure. So we're starting the game. 10 seconds to the countdown, and we will be joining our game at Tal'Darim Altar, an awesome map.
Very different map than what we just watched, Metalocalypse, especially spawning so close with those with that quick air close spawn. But this map, they'll be spread out no matter what.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I overheard the players talking about, that all the maps are really big. So anyways, in the bottom right-hand side, we do have our green Protoss player, vVvHasuu, and he indeed lost the last game to his opponent, who is our red Terran player, spawning in the top left-hand side, and he is ValiditySAGA.
Absolutely. Do you think we're going to see the same kind of build that we saw last game? Do you think both players are going to play this standard bio versus the gateway army supported by Colossus? You think we'll see the same thing?
I'm hoping for DTs, because this map is big. You can hide stuff. You can put things anywhere you want, as well as the Terran player. If you catch them with their pants down, with no turrets, with no scans, then DTs can do so much damage, and I really want to see that this game. Fast Colossi, probably not in the works here because of the long rush distance of this map, but I think we should see a nice long macro game right now. Actually, I overheard the players talking that they, you know, he was shaking his head saying all these maps are really big and kind of favor the Terran player. So, Hasuu building pylons and opening the production tab. We also see a barracks and a gateway coming down from both players.
Quick shout out to NCIX making this tournament possible. And they are spawning as far away as possible, which is great for everybody watching this game. We do want to see that macro really kick in. And like you were saying, the DTs are really popular lately, especially when the Terran fast expands, because Terrans can be really prone to dropping those mules. They really want that money. They really want to pump out units to really feel safe at the beginning of the game. And you can catch them without any scans, and the DTs can do massive, massive damage. We do see a pretty quick gas going. The gas will be done before the gateway.
Also, another thing that DTs do to you, it kind of, you might not even notice this, but sometimes DTs, when they go inside a base, then the Terran player begins to have a little bit of a fear of DT. So he builds a turret, and now he's restricted. He's automatically restricted because he knows if you build any buildings outside of the turret radius, that is vulnerable to some DT harass. So that can completely ruin a Terran player's Sim City if he's deciding to go on a certain way, building buildings in a certain place. And if that 1DT messes that all up for him, it can change the game just a little bit, make drops a little bit more fluid, make buildings too close together, making his sight lines just a little bit too restricted, and allowing the Protoss player opportunities that regularly he would not have had. So we do actually see a Cybernetic core coming from vVvHasuu, as well as an expansion from ValiditySAGA.
A 1-Rax expand actually is a build that I've been working on against Protoss. It is a really powerful macro style build, which is great on this map. He knows how far away the rush distances are, so he's really going to use that defender's advantage. And then we do see a Nexus going down for a Protoss player, so the Nexus very close behind the command center, so neither of these players are going to be putting on a lot of early pressure, and they're going to sit back a little bit and get those probes and SCVs popping out and really get working on the macro. And we do see another Rax going down, so 2 Rax being built, so we are going to see that bio ball from our Terran.
Bringing his Rax total to 3, so he's going to have, that's pretty much the same thing he did last game, was he started with a 1-Rax expand and then proceeded to build 2 more barracks, and then went for the, he's going for the gas now, and he went after that for some factory tech, as well as he had the starport tech, but he actually didn't need to use it that much last game. He relied mostly on his Marauders to take down the Colossi, which was really, really efficient in terms of, because once the Colossi are dead, really your Vikings are not much use, especially against Stalkers, so they're not going to do that much. I mean, you could use it for wrath. But look at that pylon getting instantly canceled there as soon as he saw the Marines. Marines weren't even aware that that even took place.
Their backs are facing it. They had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
But instead, he decided to drop a pylon a little bit closer to the watchtower, but he is very focused on getting the pylon down there. And the Marines are going to try to do a little bit of damage to this Stalker. The Stalker does have the advantage, but escapes, taking a little bit of permanent damage there. Not a lot, though, just a little bit.
Yeah, his hull just a little bit scratched, but he says, hey, I got shields. I can come back, and I'm not going to be that far behind. So a couple more Stalkers being warped in. Let's actually see, is this a 4-gate? No, it's a 3-gate Robo early pressure. This is interesting. Oh, of course not 4-gate. He expanded. What am I talking about? So one gate expanded into 3-gate early pressure, but lots of bunkers here from ValiditySAGA. As soon as he goes into those, it's going to be an ironclad fortress.
Oh, loses a Stalker, loses a second Stalker.
Oh, he does not want to lose that much stuff. As both players are even expansions, it's not going to be great if you lose those units.
Absolutely. There is a couple low Marines in there, though, but now he's got the Marauder, and the slow is about to be done, so this little cute Stalker pressure at the beginning will be shut down quite easily by Validity.
Probe getting taken out there quite easily. Wasn't paying that much attention to that probe. Did he even warp in a pylon? He did over there in these no, he didn't. Where's his pylon? I thought he did. I could have sworn he did.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. We found the pylon.
All right, so he does have a pylon. He does have a forward pylon. So we'll be able to warp in reinforcements there as he pleases. But right now he is a little bit low on resources. The Terran player, quite the opposite, floating about 200 minerals, but may actually be saving up for something. So looking over here, actually, really quickly, we do have an SCV coming over here. What is this SCV doing? I think he has scouted his opponent's base, so he must have some other prediction here. He thinks that his opponent is actually going for a third base, has not actually gone for his third base, so he knows that he's going to go scout the base of vVvHasuu. Only a sentry here to defend, so that's not going to go down too nice. But ValiditySAGA getting a good scout off on his opponent. Actually, he does get by the sentry, and now go to the main and sees everything. ValiditySAGA seeing all the gateways and the cybernetics core, but didn't manage to catch the double forge, going down a little bit less of a timing there from vVvHasuu, and he would have seen that.
Now the Terran player is a little bit ahead on upgrades, as +1 weapons is actually on the way already, but there is a double forge compared to only one engineering bay, so the Protoss player could definitely catch up in that aspect, and we do see a command center going down. So scouting that there was no third for the Protoss, he does feel safe within his bunkers. He's going to make that command center and really go for that econ build. As we see, he is getting out his stim, the shields, and then there we go. Just like I said, 1-1 has just started for our Protoss player.
That is going to be incredibly tough for the Terran player to handle if he lets that upgrade get out of hand. As soon as Hasuu has a very sizable army, he'll be able to steamroll his Terran opponent, as especially if you have no siege tanks as well as no air support. Siege tanks being, of course, the more priority right now. So we do see actually a factory coming out from our Terran player, as well as Marine shields and the stim just completing there. So that's going to be good for the Terran player, but I'm really wondering what he's going to use that factory for. Will he just use it as a stepping stone for the starport, or will he build more factories? No more factories quite yet under production, though he does build 2 more barracks, and he is moving right now to the center of the map.
Absolutely, the Terran is moving out. Combat shields and +1 will be done momentarily, right about the time he hits the base. So he is going for this +1 timing window. And what does Hasuu have to defend against? That Stalker never had a chance, but he will alert all his buddies. He will alert all his buddies that there is something going on, and there is enough sentries to make a wall off. We'll have to see what happens here. This Stalker will get away. Oh, this Marauder will stim and probably pick him off. Oh, there we go. So he slows him down. That Stalker, unfortunately, his time is over. He does get picked off.
That Marauder plays Dota. I'm sure. He just ran and stimmed and then did the slow, and then all of a sudden Stalker slowed. He's like, yo, mine. Took him out. That was so easy for him. He's like, yeah, GG. 1-0. All right, so vVvHasuu does have quite a large army there. He is going to go for a third base there, one ahead of his opponent. But look at that, actually, ValiditySAGA getting an expansion of his own. That's going to be very nice for our both players. Again, we kind of thought of a macro game happening on this very large map, and it looks like that's kind of taking place right now as both players just accumulating that incredibly large army, and I'm sure we'll see this huge clash. And then as soon as that happens, it's going to depend on how fast each player can re-macro his army at the same time as withstanding any counterattacks.
Absolutely. When you see the Zealot there for Hasuu actually runs into the third, forces all those SCVs to run away, Terran army running in here to dispatch that Zealot. But as we're talking about with the upgrades, the Protoss running away with the upgrades, and I think he is right now. 1-1 is completed. He's working on 2-2. It's about halfway done, and it's being chrono boosted at the moment with the Terran player only having 1 weapons, although will have 1 armor momentarily. Is getting out that armory. I almost called it a forge again. Getting out that armory to work on 2-2, but he is definitely behind. Charge is coming out as well. Charge is excellent against those Marauders.
Especially if you can get some force fields in. What happens is, I like to call it the meat grinder, because what happens is you get those force fields behind the Terran opponent, and then you let your charge block just go to work, and the Marauders, because at first the Terran player is trying to run away, the Marauders are trying to run away, they get all scrambled, and they just take so much damage from the Zealots, and then finally when they turn around, the Zealots, is too late. It's just too late, especially with these upgrades. It's just going to be too late. So I'm waiting for Hasuu to do that. But it looks like a drop going to happen in the bottom left-hand side. We're going to move into the base of vVvHasuu. Hasuu, in the meantime, his army is actually out of place. There's nothing in his main and nothing in his expansions for any defense. Oh, Zealot's even moving out, getting taken out by the army of Saga. This is going to be huge. He's going to move into the base of Hasuu. Hasuu is nothing in here, as well as a drop coming in here. This is going to be an incredible game. It looks like the third base here getting lifted off by ValiditySAGA. Saga trying to capitalize on the fact that he can float away, and another drop here coming down, killing Hasuu's pylons. Zealots being more trying to deal with that, but just can't deal with the fire power. As ValiditySAGA comes in, starts taking out things, and it looks like Hasuu's going to lose this game.
If we look up in the Terran natural, Hasuu is pushing in, but I'm not sure if he's going to actually be able to do enough damage. Unfortunately, this did come down to a base trade. I was hoping we weren't going to see that. But there is a lot of damage actually going on in Validity's main as well. Will he pull back his army, or will he go for the full base trade? He is sending in all his workers, trying to do a little bit of damage. I think he will lose a stalker. But if we look on the mini-map, the Terran army is actually moving into the main of Hasuu. So we are going to see a full base trade type of game.
The thing is, I mean, it's annoyed me since day one, since the original StarCraft came out, of how command centers can float away. This is why I think it's going to the Terran player. He's going to be able to take out all the buildings of vVvHasuu. Terran is just going to win this game. I don't see how he can lose right now with floating off those command centers.
There is a Nexus up in the top right. As you see there, just getting thrown down right now. That's a desperation Nexus. Our Terran player is supply capped actually quite heavily, but I don't see the Protoss coming out ahead. The Charge Lust did a handful of damage, but I think there's only about 2. The sentries don't have enough energy, and there's a huge Marine Marauder ball taking out the tech down here at the bottom, doing a little scoot and shoot. But we are, is that a Dark Shrine?
That's a dark shrine!
So we could see some Dark Shrine play. That's absolutely, that is excellent. What are we missing right here? He does catch it. Validity catches the Dark Shrine.